The Midwifery Council of New Zealand, MC, is facing growing criticism over its repeated attempts to revise the midwifery scope of practice, or IMSOP, we'll call it that for short. When you hear me say that, that's who I'm referring to, by removing the terms woman and baby. Despite 4 different drafts since 2021, the overwhelming public and professional feedback rejecting the omission of sex-based language, the MC has persisted. The changes have prompted concern that the council is prioritising ideological language over clarity and legal obligations outlined in the Health and Disability Competency Assurance Act, which requires scopes of practice to clearly identify the care that is provided to and what the profession does. Many midwives, already under pressure from workforce shortages and rising costs, now fear their governing body is more focused on enforcing ideology than supporting their profession. Debbie Hayes is a midwife and she joins me now. Debbie, good morning.
Good morning, Leah. Thank you for having me on.
No, look, it's very important and lovely to talk to you about it. Can you take us back to the beginning what first prompted you to push back against the removal of words like woman and baby from the midwifery scope of practice?
Sure. Well, I knew that was going on, but it did appear that I would have no voice about it in spite of feeding back, and I'll get to that later. But I did respond to a Substack article by Sarah Henderson, and she, it was a very good article that summarised what had been going on. And I responded saying, I can't remember what I said, something like, welcome to my world, something like that. And from then, Sarah and Manawahini Koiro started to give me some hope that I did actually have a voice and a bit of courage actually to just say it, that this is wrong, don't do it. If I take you back, there have been 5 iterations of attempts to replace woman and baby in the scope of practice. The first 3 of them thought that the word whanau was sufficient. Woman and baby is not in there. So that first one, I don't even know if I saw it because it was very low key. They did ask for feedback. Weirdly, 80% was negative. They didn't like it.
Yeah, surprise.
Now, weird.
So Debbie, sorry, just to make it clear. So the word whanau, which is family, people don't say family anymore. It's very hard to find family anywhere. But when you saw whanau, that was they used that instead of saying woman or baby.
That's right, completely replaced. So woman and baby not in it at all. Now that first scope, they when it was audited, the auditors advised the midwifery scope and the collaborative reference group who were employed to write the scope that they should not, in future feedback on their own work. So in spite of them singing from the rooftops how lovely it was in their feedback, they only had 80% people that, they had 80% negativity. It was still 80% negative. Yeah. And then on the second feedback, it remained unchanged. This is what I think anyway, they're actually very hard to find now, these scopes that were. There's a lot of musical chairs going on in the Midwifery Council's website. It's very hard to find things and things disappear.
Sorry, Debbie. Was there? Did they also remove? Were there other words removed? What about breastfeeding?
Breastfeeding removed, gone.
So what are you supposed to say when you're talking to a mum about breastfeeding her child, her baby? What were you supposed to say?
Well, that has been fairly widely replaced in documentation in the health service by chest feeding,
Oh, God.
which is a physical impossibility. Chests don't yield milk, just saying. So that, but it wasn't in the scope at all.
Right.
So there's lots of presumptions going on that, oh, yes, we all know what, that women breastfeed, but let's not put it in the scope lest we upset a few people.
I get it.
Yeah.
You mentioned, I mean, there's been many iterations. Can I just quickly look at the first one, which was that 2021, wasn't it? Clearly rattled a lot of people. And the Midwifery Council ignored it because I know there was public reaction to it. And then I think you said in the second version, was it 80% of public feedback was negative, or 90? I saw 90 in one of your writings.
This time it went up to 90.8, possibly because they weren't feeding back themselves now.
Right.
And possibly also because there was some they described alternative media disinformation. So it got out into the public. Yeah, Stuff News too. That was a wake up call.
So hang on. So
Stuff's
apparently alternative media to the Midwifery Council.
Hilarious.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's misinformation if they say it, if they print it.
Way. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That one we had 3 weeks to feedback on that one. They made that quite tight.
Yeah. Sorry, Debbie, keep going.
90.8% they didn't like it. Negative feedback was. So the third one, they didn't ask for feedback, but they added a paragraph at the bottom which explained, I can't find it, and I'm not reading it out anyway, but it said words to the effect that whānau, well, of course we mean women and babies and anybody that requires the care of a midwife, which could be men, according to them. That added paragraph is not part of the scope, so women are now an afterthought in a paragraph. So we got a mention in that one. So that's
but not part of the scope. It's just like you said, it's an afterthought in a sentence at the bottom of a page.
Yeah.
What Debbie? What do you really think is driving this push to change the language so drastically?
Well, I think it's trans activism and. Yes, inclusivity is the word that is put about. But nobody seems to. Well, I understand inclusivity means including people, but you're excluding 100% of the rightful recipients of midwifery care when you don't say women.
Women.
Yes, so that's exclusive.
I did read that they have framed this as and this is their words, journey towards inclusion.
Yes. On a walker, I think. Yeah.
Oh, on a walker as well.
Yeah.
Okay. You've also said, Deb, that this process has cost an estimated $500,000 and midwives are footing the bill through higher APC fees. Is that correct?
It appears so, yes. So in 2019, they requested money from the Ministry of Health to fund this project, and they estimated 377,000, and that's what they wanted for a 2-year project. So it's now in the 6th, possibly 7th year, so you have to assume that it has gone way beyond that. So I estimated that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what fees are these APC fees? Is this what midwives they pay a fee?
We pay that annually, and part of that fee is for holding us to account if we've made errors in our, clinical practice. So part of it is that, so that they can, bring us to account, hold us to account. And it's $840 a year currently.
Right.
And some midwives are really struggling with this.
Yeah. You've said there's also frustration that midwives are forced to engage with MSOP's education modules, and provide feedback as a condition of their certification. Would you describe that as coercion?